This week I finished playing through the Mortal Shell 2 demo, and while it was very, very good, there's a few things I think the devs at Cold Symmetry could do to help move the needle from good to great. So here's 5 things I think the game could improve upon to make it just that much better. First thing, show us the level up menu from the jump. This was kind of perplexing, but as I was going through the demo the first time, I was very confused because I couldn't level up anywhere. I kept farming enemies over and over again, just testing out the combat. I ended up with like 10,000 Gloom XP, and I couldn't figure out how to level. And it turns out they gate the level up menu until you get to a certain progression point in the game. So for whatever reason, the first few bonfires, they just don't offer the level up option. I don't know why. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I was very confused. I had to Google it. And sure enough, once I got into about half hour into the game, I found the bonfire. It actually let me do it, but in my opinion, it is unnecessarily confusing. So instead of just removing the menu item to level up, why don't you just disable it, or lock it, or convey it in a way to the player to tell them, yes, you do level up here at the bonfire, at the beacon, whatever the hell it's called. You just can't do it yet. You gotta wait. Wait a few minutes, get to the next one, and then we'll let you level up. Just kind of an odd thing. And so the second issue I had with the game has to do with shared upgrade materials. That means that for every weapon, all the weapons, they share the same upgrade mat. So if you want to level up the sword, or you want to level up the axe and dagger, whatever the hell it is, they all use the same thing, so that trying to min-max, trying to focus on one weapon, you might have spent a ton of resources upgrading weapon until you find a better one, and then you're kind of stuck. You don't have the resources necessary to get that new weapon to where you want it to be. Like you had to be some kind of fucking soothsayer, know ahead of time that, oh shit, 3 hours in the game, I'm going to get the weapon that I actually want, and I've wasted all this time upgrading weapons I didn't even want unnecessarily. The other aspect with it is ranged weapons also share the same upgrade mat, which I think is kind of ludicrous, because if you're going to have that, you need a separate upgrade material for range. Because now, if I'm going to try to min-max at all, if I'm going to try to level up my weapons, I'm going to prioritize them way above the ranged weapons, to the point where I'm probably never even going to upgrade that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think that should be streamlined. I think each weapon should probably have its own upgrade mat. I want to say in the first game, they had that. I might be remembering that wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the way it worked, so they avoided this issue. And the same thing applies to the ranged weapon. It's like, you don't split a limited resource. Don't create all this scarcity when you don't need to. Every single weapon should have its own upgrade mat, so that when you find a new weapon, you can upgrade it, you can min-max it, and if you want to upgrade your ranged weapon along the way, you can do that too. Don't make the player choose between what weapon they want to focus on, because you're diminishing all the other availability and all the other playstyles that the player should be able to choose from. All right, for number 3, give me more video tutorials, because there's so many items in this game, and it's such an obscure language that they're using to describe what everything does, that they really need to be able to convey what each item does, or what each modifier does, in a visual way that the user can go back to anytime from the menu. And they select a given I don't know, modifier, or a given tar stone, or whatever the hell it is, so you can see, oh, okay, this is like the parry system from Sekiro, or this other item is going to let me do the stone parry approach, or this specific tar stone is going to be only applicable to ranged weapons, and it's going to look like this. That'd be awesome, because otherwise I just pick these things up and I have no clue what the hell they do. I read a description, and sometimes it just will say something like, oh, all right, it improves damage by 150% or something. Fine, I don't really need a video for that. But if it's a completely unique tar stone that only applies to a specific weapon, show me what it does. Show me what it does, so I can think about, wow, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll actually switch up my playstyle. Maybe I want to start using a different weapon. Maybe I will definitely use this particular item for ranged attacks. Having just played through 007 about a month ago, right, they had visual videos for everything in the upgrade system. It's sort of weird here that in this game they have a couple, but you can never watch them again. You see them like once and you're like, okay, and then there's no way to recall them, to remember, oh yeah, that's what this does. Give me more videos. That's all I'm asking. All right, coming in at number 4, we have a real problem with combat, because most of the enemies you can just keep stun locking by spamming light attacks over and over again. They will not retaliate. You will just take them out. They won't be able to react. You just smash them in the face until they're dead. And that's sort of weird. Like, there needs to be some feedback from the enemies. Like, you know, after a few attacks, they dodge out of the way, or they try to get away from you, or something to make it a little bit more dynamic, because otherwise, without any resistance there, without any kind of volley in the combat system, it's too simplistic. I'm not asking for it to be balls-breakingly difficult, but there should be something that happens with the AI of the enemies, where it's like, okay, I've been hit 10 times in the face, and I'm not getting any attacks back in. I need to move, right? I need to get out of the way. It's just way too easy otherwise, and it kind of takes away from how enjoyable the combat actually can be. Now, the final issue I had with the game were the boss fights. Pretty much every boss in the demo is more like a gimmick boss. It's not really, it didn't really feel good. I think the only exception I had was maybe the one early on where it's scripted, you know, it's gonna kick your ass, and then, you know, a cutscene plays, and you can really only play it for a minute. Apparently you can beat this guy, but you'll have to start the demo over if he defeats you just to fight him again. You can never fight him again. That's kind of annoying. The only one that was half decent was right when you get the ability to fast travel and you go to this sort of the first zone that you can access, and there is that boss that you can fight out in the open, and he's fun. You learn the moves, and that feels like a real boss fight. Whereas every other boss that you encounter is just some kind of gimmick. Like the illusion boss, who just sort of spams copies of himself, or some of the ones early on that just throw projectiles at you, or, you know, leading up to the end where you fight Big Bertha in the rocket-propelled wheelchair. That was a terrible boss fight. Although I did figure out a way to cheese it using this particular tar stone with the crossbow, and I was able to defeat her in literally a minute. It kind of surprised me how easy that was. I don't know if that's intentional. I mean, they do give you that crossbow right before the fight. If you get the tar stone from defeating the other obnoxious gimmick boss, the whatever the hell this dude is, the Pied Piper, who's making all the lambs and the goats dance. You get that specific item from him, you apply it to the crossbow, and then Big Bertha's done in a minute. Maybe that's the way they want you to play this game. Again, it seems like a stretch that was intentional. I don't know. But either way, there's too many gimmick bosses. There needs to be more feedback, more of a volley for these bosses. The fact that they have like a Sekiro-style parry, but none of the bosses really give you that ability to engage in combat that way. If you're going to do anything with parrying, lean more in on Sekiro, because those boss fights are so goddamn good. They're so goddamn good. Don't do all gimmicks. Don't do all gimmicks, please. Because if it's going to be all gimmick bosses, that's just not going to be good. That's going to be incredibly disappointing, because the core mechanics in this game are solid. But if they go in that direction where it's just, oh, every boss is a gimmick, and you just gotta learn some stupid trick, and it doesn't really have anything to do with combat, or doesn't have any way to make the combat more fulfilling or challenging, the final result is gonna be just frustrating or lame. Like, they're so close to having something really good here that they shouldn't blow it on gimmick bosses. All right, lastly, I just want to talk about a few nitpicks. These aren't deal breakers, but just improving quality of life in the game. The first one just has to do with the fast travel. While it's cool that you see yourself get, like, dematerialized and then shot out like a meteor, after the first few times you go through this, the novelty really wears off, and you sort of think about how you're a meteor that's moving about 20 miles an hour through the sky, not very quickly. So it'd be good to have a way to just skip that, right? Just let me skip the animation and just get right to the bonfire. Another nitpick is that every enemy you defeat drops 2 items. They drop Gloom, which is XP, and you automatically hoover that up. You just vacuum it in from wherever you are. But they'd also drop a coin purse, and you have to manually pick that up. I don't like the fact that you have to keep looking around. Oh, where's the coin purse? I gotta go grab the coin purse. Like, forget that. That's stupid. Just give me everything. Just let me hoover everything up. Just give me the coin and the XP. Let me move on. I don't want to look around for like 3 coins. Like, we can get beyond having to do these little, oh, an input. I gotta give the coins. It's like, no. No, simplify. And then a very minor thing is if I've got a controller hooked up and I go to any of the menus, the mouse just shows up in the middle. And that's just kind of irritating, right? If the controller's on, get rid of the mouse. Mouse shouldn't be seen anytime, because that can cause other weird things to happen with the menu, right? Just avoid that altogether. I think it's unnecessary. All right, so those are my top 5 things that I think could be improved upon in Mortal Shell 2. Hopefully the devs listen to that. Maybe a couple of them, just a few quality of life things that I think would really move this game from good to great, because they got so much potential here that I'd hate to see it squandered literally at the finish line, right? I don't want them to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with any of these points? Do you have any other comments or any other critiques that you think the devs could do to improve the game? Let me know down in the comments. And also, what did you think of the demo? Did you play the demo? Are you going to play the demo? What do you think of Mortal Shell 2? Let me know that as well. All right, that's all I got. If you like this video, try hitting the hype button. Might be down there somewhere. Small creators like myself definitely need that, because YouTube only likes to promote AI slop. So help get that out there. If you liked it, it'll get out to other people, because you have the power to get rid of that slop to a very minor degree, but it still helps. All right, that's it. Hey, take it easy. Bye-bye.
How terrible is wisdom when it brings no profit to the wise, Johnny. Louis Cypher. Lucifer. Only the soul is immortal. Yours belongs to me.